Now you might be wondering, while I'm shooting these videos, who's steering the boat? And the answer is it's not who's steering the boat, but what's steering the boat. And what is steering the boat, or at least part of it, is right behind me. You can see that plywood air paddle. That's a self-steering wind vane. And what that is doing is keeping the boat at a constant angle to the wind. Right now we're broad reaching, so the wind is about 130, 140 degrees off the bow. And so you can see that air paddle is pretty much holding at the same angle. And it's keeping the boat sailing at a constant angle to the wind. Now, the air paddle itself could never create enough torque to actually move the rudder. And if you can see this long lever here, this is the tiller. Here, I'll move the camera down. So you can see this long lever here is the tiller. It requires a fair bit of oomph when the water's when you have the water pressure on it to actually move that tiller, move that rudder. And there's no way an air paddle could ever develop enough force to do that. So the air paddle is not actually turning the rudder. What it's turning is a trim tab, which is a long, thin, high aspect ratio rudder or blade that is mounted on the end of the rudder. Essentially what that does is it gives the air paddle a huge amount of mechanical advantage. It basically acts like a long lever over the rudder. So in that way the air paddle is able to turn the rudder. And in fact the trim tab can oversteer the boat, can move the rudder too much. And that's why I have these shock cords attached, which are attached to either side of the tiller, which prevent oversteering. Otherwise you tend to start sailing a slalom course.